In the Philippines, an illegal gold trade worth an estimated $700 million a year is flourishing.
Siguro, pwedeng black market yun kasi kumbaga nga hindi masyadong inaano sa ano.
Operated by shadowy financiers, agents, and buyers who would use any means to keep their business going.
Ay, sa amin po, yung dito, minsan may nahingi ng bato.
While the industry leaves a trail of destruction.
At kailangan ng maraming taon para ito maibalik sa dati.
Pulmonary tuberculosis.
We find the people fueling this illegal trade.
Hindi na nila iniintindi. Kasi bentahan lang naman ng ginto yan. Ganun lang talaga.
It's greed. It's greed. It is greed.
Find out how the illegal gold changes hands and follow its trail to its final destination in the Philippines. Just east of Manila, by the coast of the Pacific Ocean, is the town of Paracale, also known as Gold Town.
Itong Paracale, mula sa kaninununuan pa namin, yung mga tatanda pa, talagang may ginto na dito. Kaya nga marami ditong nakukuha rin mga treasure. Kasi yung mga unang tao pa, marami na rin silang namiminang ginto dito. Hindi talaga nauubos ang ginto. Meron at meron. Kaso nga sa panahon ngayon, hinuhukay na talaga. Hindi gaya nung unang panahon, napupulot mo lang ang nuggets. Gaya nung mga napapanood natin ngayon sa TV, may lugar na area yung nuggets, nandiyan lang sa ibabaw, kukuha mo lang, may ginto ka na.
This sleepy town is home to a highly profitable gold mining and processing industry. And many are trying to cash in illegally.
Mas gusto kasi ng mga tao ay magbalon kasi nga, once na maka-high grade ka, yung 100,000 million, saglit lang makukuha. Hindi mo makukuha ng ganong kadali. Sa contract yun, mag-aaraw ka lang yan ng 300 to 400. Sa pagbabalon, sortehin ka lang ng isa, pwede kang maging milyonaryo agad ng ganong kadali. Instant millionaire.
Jeremy is a miner in an illegal gold mine. It is all that he has ever known.
Kami pong mga halos isang tao po dito, marami kami dito, puro kami minero, puro po kami magkakabod. Ay sa kuan din po, minsan talaga wala po kaming pagkukunan, kundi yan lang po. Timbang buhay po kami sa ganyan. Wala na kaming ibang kuan lang din po kasi ang natapos namin. Habang paaral lang din po, grade 6 lang din po kami natapos. Kaya po sa kuan, wala ibang mapaghanap buhayan talaga. Yan lang. Hindi. Para kuan, mabuhay kami, ang pamilya.
Dati po pinapatrabaho ko po siya sa Maynila. Ayaw naman po niya mag-construction. Kinukuha din po siya nung pinsan ko. Ang tawag niya yung
Pahinanti.
Oo, mapahinanti po. Ay ayaw man po niya kasi sanay po talaga siya sa pagkakabod. Yun na po ang namulatan niya ay.
Six days a week, Jeremy makes this 30-minute journey to Panganiban.
Tapos sa pagkabod, swerte. Yung swerte lang. May swerte ka sa pagkabod, parang kung ka din, magkakaroon-roon ka rin.
Hidden under the cover of a mangrove swamp, an illegal gold mining site is in operation. These sites supply gold for the black market trade. Miners like Jeremy are known as players. They work at these mines without any of the necessary permits. Here, the players practice compressor mining, the most dangerous form of gold mining in the world. It is also illegal in the Philippines. In compressor mining, miners have to work underwater for long hours to get to the gold buried deep underground. They breathe through a narrow rubber tube that is connected to a compressor.
Inaabot po ito ng 20 feet. Lampas pa po doon. Depende po sa lalim. Kung gaano kalalim.
The pits are dug close to a river, so they fill up with water as soon as miners dig a meter in.
Ay pag mababaw po, kaya po namin ng half day, isang kalating araw. Ang labas po namin. Mga kuwan po siguro, mga 7 or 6 hours.
Despite the dangers, the miners only have the most basic equipment to work with.
Itong bulak po, napantay nga, para matakpan, para hindi pumasok ang bagutlot. Isalot ko po gagawin ng kwan. Nagpudong po. Maglagay po ng pamudong sa ulo. Sunod po ay lagay po ako ng hose sa bayawa. Ito pong hose pong ito, na nakakabit po ito sa isang compressor, na ito po ang ginagamit namin sa ilalim para makahinga kami. Makahinga po ako para ito ang kwan. Ngayon po, ang sunod po itong mask. Ginagamit po ito para makamulat sa ilalim.
It is almost pitch black and it is cold.
Ay ang kuwan po, pag palalim kami, wala kaming nakikita. Ay minsan kinakabahan palalim, hindi namin alam kung anong mangyayari sa ilalim. Yung mababagsakan kami o mabubuhay, ganun. Parang kuwan, timbang buhay kami dito sa balon. Para kumita lang kami, malusong kami.
At the bottom, Jeremy is only able to feel his way around with his hands. He digs for rocks and puts them into a bag, which is then dragged up the shaft with a rope by his friend on the surface. The rocks are inspected and the ones with gold are kept aside. Their income fluctuates from day to day.
Wala po, pag nakakuha lang po kami ng kuwan sa ilalim, bita, tapos may ginto siya. Paghiling po nung, doon namin papartihin kung meron kaming makukuha dito sa balon. Ay minsan po, nakaka 200 kami araw. Minsan wala po talaga, yun lang naman ang kuha namin po. Minsan walang-wala talaga po kaming makukuha dito.
Players like Jeremy are at the very bottom rung of an elaborate illegal network. They answer to the people operating above them the financiers.
Itong gamit po, lahat, isa-isa, lahat pong gamit, basta galing po ito sa financier. Pagkain, itong kubo na ginawa, galing sa financier po ito.
The financiers work behind the scenes, pulling the strings. They are the bosses behind the operations who are willing to break the law to keep their business going.
Ay, sa amin po, yung dito, minsan may nahingi ng bato.
In Camarines Norte in the Philippines, people have been working at these illegal gold mines for decades. Behind the scenes, it is the financiers who fund these shadowy operations. They are responsible for assembling the crew and deciding on the mining location. We tracked down a financier in a small town neighboring Paracale.
Pag nagagawang financier po, yung nagagastos po, bibigay ng minsan pagkain, pag kung anong in-order ng mga tao, ay binibigyan po namin. Yung square, diba, bibiling muel, kahit ano po yung pagpako, yung ganun po ang nagpipinansya po.
For an investment of about $1,000 to set up an illegal mine, the financiers can expect to double their investment or more if they strike gold. Despite operating illegally, the financiers do not worry about being shut down by the authorities. Some have been paid to turn a blind eye.
So ito po ay mga, sabihin na natin po yung mga local officials natin. Tama po ba?
Oo, minsan po nahingi. Hindi na naalis dito sa atin. Ay, sa amin po, yung dito, minsan may nahingi ng bato. Pag may patawag na susunod ka po. Pag hindi ka sumunod, di huliin ka. Kung anong patakaran nila, ay di doon ka na pumasok. Doon po, pagkatapos po nun, ay di, pag halimbawa walang nakuha, di lugin po ako. Pag maganda ang kuha, di maganda din ang kuha ko din sa akin. Ganito po yun, pag kami nakakakuha ng ginto, inigiling pa namin. Ay, nakakuha kami bida, inigiling pa namin, naragmin. Katapos po nung pagkaragmin.
Rock mills are the next link in the black market gold trade. In Paracale, hidden behind a small bike workshop, we find an illegal rock milling operation. Financiers bring their rocks to places like these to separate the gold from the rocks.
Una po, sinasalang po namin yung bato, tapos po, binabasag po yun. And one po, pagkabasag po, hugasan namin yun. Tapos, lalagyan na po ng mercury, asugi po, yung panghuli po ng ginto.
Mercury is an extremely toxic metal, and direct contact with mercury can lead to toxic poisoning. But the workers here seem to underestimate the dangers.
Paggamit po ng mercury po, Yun po ay panghuli ng gold. Kahit po wala kaming gloves, okay lang po. Wala pong problema yun. Okay lang po ang paghawak ng mercury kahit po hawakan mo yan. Basta manghihinaw ka lang po pagkakatapos. Manghihinaw ka bago kumain.
The next step of the process is equally dangerous. Workers heat up the mixture to separate the raw gold from the mercury.
Ang problema lang po yung usok ng mercury. Yung po ang pumapasok po sa natin sa katawan, sa loob ng katawan. Yung po ang pinakamasamang sa katawan.
Without any safety precautions, workers here risk respiratory failure, all for as little as $5 a day.
2.5 po. 2.5 grams. Kaya ito po ang nakukuha namin sa maghapon. Ito po yung sample na Sa isang araw po, nakakagawa po kami ng 10 grams na ginto po.
For some, the cost of extracting this small amount of gold only surfaces years later. And it is a huge cost. Jerry has been working in illegal gold mines in Paracale for the past 20 years. But in the past 3 months, he hasn't been able to work.
Dito po sa dibdib, sa likod, tapos dibdib. Tapos paghihinga po. Tapos naghihina po ako. Ganun po. Hindi po ako nakakalakad masyado. Tapos ang pagtitingan ko po sa mga basta po malamang pagtingin ko ay.
Ang lagi po siya nag-uubo at masakit talaga po daw yung likod niya.
So ngayon, pumunta kayo dito
para po magpa-check up. Para po malaman kung talagang may full moon po siya, gayon.
Ano ang nakapano ka?
Nararamdaman ko ang likod pagkakamdaman.
Anong pinagsama mo?
Sa balon.
Tama niya po.
Meron siyang mga plema sa loob. Tapos meron siyang sign ng pulmonary tuberculosis. Yung trabaho niya, isa sa mga possibility ng mercury intoxication. Kasi sa minahan, gumagamit ng mercury, gumagamit ng cyanide, ng acids. Kaya ang nangyayari, ganun nga. Nalalanghap. Na-expose ka araw-araw, halos. Pagkatapos, napapagod ka, napupuyat ka, yun yung dahilan bumabang yung station niya. Pero pagka kapareho nito, nagko-consider sila ng pulmonary tuberculosis. Kaya yun for further work-up, para ma-consider natin ang pagbigay ng 6 months therapy. Kailangan niya mapacheck up yung hospital.
Kung wala pong trabaho, kung nangangailangan, tayo po ibabalik ulit po wala pong ibang trabaho ganyan po. Ang mga anak ko mabuhay ko po, kung mapaaral ko pong gusto, tatanggapin ko na lang po kung anong mga ko po doon sa mga ganyan na mga balon na yun. Dahil po kung nahihirapan mo po ako, okay lang po sa akin, basta ang mga anak ko po, mapaaral ko po.
Nahihina rin po ako. At ganyan nga po, may sakit ang asawa ko. Ang dami po namin anak-anin po. Hindi ko po alam kung anong gagawin po. Pero kaya niya po yan at malakas naman po yan eh, hindi yan mapatalo.
While the miners deal with the impact on their health, agents, who act as middlemen between financiers and buyers, are profiting.
Madalas kong kinakaltas dyan sa isang bahay. O sa 1 gram, almost 50 to 60 pesos per gram ang kinakaltas ko. O na 100. Depende sa klase ng ginto. Depende sa nagamit nilang mga chemicals dito. Sinacharge ko yun sa kanila para tumubo at kumita rin ako.
The agents get the raw gold processed before it can be sold. The gold is refined by trained chemists in illegal processing sites.
Scale the gold. 1.2 grams. Mix in the kalayok or fat, kalayok.
The raw gold needs to be refined to remove impurities.
Refined gold. We will be melting the gold, the refined gold, at about 1,000 degrees centigrade.
This is the refined gold. Already cooking. Yeah, that's okay. I'll pick the gold and punch. It's done. It's finished. It's almost 24K gold.
The refined gold is now ready to be sold. But who in Paracale is buying the illegally mined gold? In Paracale in the Philippines, illegal gold mining has gone on for decades, involving miners who risk their lives for as little as $4 a day, and financiers and agents who rake in much bigger profits. These fake shops are fronts for trading in illegally mined gold.
Dito ko dinadala yung mga raw gold na nabibili ko sa shop na to.
We follow the agent with hidden cameras to see where he sells his gold.
Dito ko nakukuha yung matataas na presyo niya. Kaya dito ko siya madalas binabagsak sa shop na to. Para kung titingnan mo siya sa labas, kala mo yung computer shop lang siya. Pero namimili siya ng ginto. Sikat na ito yung bangal itong dinadalang ko ng ginto sapagkat kahit malalaking ginto niya, nababayaran niya ng in cash. So yung kanya mga ati, hindi naman nila inaalam niya. Pero ang alam naman nilang kahit saan dito, may ginto.
So yung ba mga may-ari dito alam nila na illegal yung mga binibenta sa kanila. Tapos wala na rin silang pakialam.
Oo, alam nila madam na ganun talaga ay. Kahit alam nilang galing yun doon, pero hindi na nila inaanin. Hindi na nila iniintindi. Kasi bentahan lang naman ang ginto yun. Ganun lang talaga.
While the players at the bottom of the hierarchy make little more than $4 a day, the agents can make more than 10 times that amount in a single transaction.
Bali, ang kapital ko dun sa nabili ko kanina ay 9,000 pesos. At naibenta ko siya kanina, tiyempong tumaas yung gold spot, yung base. naibenta ko siya ng 11,700 pesos. Yun ang, kaya naging tubo kanina, almost 2,007 pesos. Pera-pera lang. Pera-pera lang talaga. Pag may binto ka, pisar mo, pera na. Wala na silang pakialam. Basta nabayaran nila, hindi okay na.
With so many cashing in, the illegal gold mining industry has left scars on the land.
Malaki ang epekto nito sa kapaligiran dahil at kailangan ng maraming taon para ito maibalik sa dati.
Environmental activist Archon Prera grew up in Paracale.
Makikita nga natin yung na-mine out na pinagkaburan ng compressor mining at makikita natin na ito ay talagang sira. Devastated. Ang compressor po kasi, kinukuha nila yung lupa sa ilalim at inilalabas. Hindi naman ibinabalik. Kaya nasisira, tapos pagkatapos dito sa lugar na ito, lilipat sa kabilang butas, gayon na naman ang gagawin. Ilalabas na naman lahat ng lupa doon na makukuha. Tapos pagkaubos ng kukunin doon, lipat na naman sa kabila uli. Kaya talagang sirag-sira. Gumagamit nga ng mercury ang compressor mining. Mercury ang ginagamit nila para ma-extract yung gold. Tapos yung isda naman kakainin ng mga tao na nakakain na ng mercury. At ang epekto nito ayon sa pag-aaral ng mga siyentipiko ay nagkakaroon ng mga freak. Mostly may isisilang na mga freak na tao sa lugar na yun kung saan may mga nagmimina na gumagamit ng mercury.
Forever, that the rights of our people to a clean and healthy environment should be the main discerning factor for whatever. For the LGUs,
Gina Lopez is an environmentalist and the former secretary of the Department of Environment and Natural Resources.
The Philippine Clean Water Act.
She has long been a vocal opponent against mining in the Philippines, accusing the industry of destroying the environment.
Structured DNR, so it's more functional and it's more answerable. I'm going to work with if you allow the destruction of the environment in one area, you kill the possibilities in other areas because the way the ecosystem works, it's like a domino effect. You know, then forget about the farmers and fishermen, just the people who want the gold. They're just going to be the ones to make the money. And that gold is not there forever. So once they finish all the gold reserves, what's going to happen? What's going to happen to the future? You kill the land. So I feel the best use of Philippine resources is to use it in a way that it can be forever used. You don't kill it for now and then never mind what happens in the future. And I will say the blame of this small-scale mining, this gold, is the government. One, they're not monitoring well, and it's not enough to say no. If people are poor and you're telling them they can't do this, you have to give them an alternative. You can say, why don't you do this? And you have to help them all the way up to marketing until they make money. Whose duty is it to make sure that things happen well? Government. Whose duty is it to make sure that illegal things don't happen? Government. Whose duty is it to make sure that our poor don't suffer? Government. So if government makes choices to benefit the rich, what will the poor do?
Many illegal miners continue putting their lives and health at risk for the sake of their families.
Mga kamay ko dahil sa pagkakabod, naumpisa pala pagpapalalim ng balon. Gawa lang yan sa pagkukutkot ng lupa sa ilalim. Nagtataas ng batuhan, ganyan, buhangin. Yun ang pinakuha ko sa ilalim. Minsan, nananakit yan. Pero pagka napapahinga, manainuman naman ng gamot. Nawawala rin.
Apollo doesn't want his son to go through the same ordeals.
Ay may pangarap ako sa kanya na kung anong gusto niya na kung halimbawa yung pumunta siya ng abroad. Kaya sa ganitong pagkakabot, tinutustos ko sa kanya yung makakapag-aaralaan, yung kinikita ko. Pero kulang-kulang pa rin ang kita.
Gina Lopez believes that the persistence of illegal mining is not down to poverty alone. She feels that the problem lies at the very top, where some in the government have a vested interest in mining activities.
The governor, the congressman, their families operate the mines. Hello? My God, no? I mean, there are people that are represented in Congress and whatever that themselves have mining interests. In the Philippines, mining funds political campaigns. So every time you fund a political campaign, that particular politician is indebted to you. Politicians consistently make decisions that cater to business interests, even if it means the violation of Filipino rights. It's really, really sad.
While agents are small-time dealers who operate mostly in shops around town, the sellers operate in the larger market, buying and selling in larger quantities. We track down a black market seller who reveals where the illegal gold is usually sold.
Ganito po yun, yung pag nabili ko na sa mga player namin, tapos ay i-refine ko na. Tapos siyempre po, nirefine ko na, ididirekta ko na po sa Maynila, sa Binondo. Siguro, pwedeng black market yun kasi, kumbaga nga, hindi masyadong inaano sa Karamihan baga pong mga tindahan ng mga ganyan, mga tago lang sila. Hindi talaga sila naglalantad. Kaya pwede siguro black market.
We follow the trail of illegal gold from Paracale to Manila.
Pupunta din po ba ito sa Central Bank? Sa Central Bank din ang nito, ang bagsak nito. Sa ibang bansa, maraming Marami kami ginagawa.
Gold is being illegally mined in Paracale in the Philippines. But most of the gold end up approximately 350 kilometers away. In Binondo, Manila's Chinatown. Binondo is well known for its many legitimate gold traders. But according to sources from Paracale, some of the traders in Binondo are also big-time buyers of illegally mined gold. By law, local gold producers in the Philippines must sell their gold to the central bank. But many prefer to do their business at this black market.
Yun na nga, doon ko dinadala kasi ayaw ko sa Central Bank kasi marami pang mababawas na ano, maraming, yun na nga, maraming may tax, may ano. Kaya dapat magdirekta ka na lang.
We set up an undercover operation to talk to a buyer at the black market.
You guys ready?
We are ready. Is it filming now? Is it rolling?
Yes.
We spot a man standing around suspiciously. Posing as interested gold sellers, we approach him. He turns out to be a gold agent. Black market dealers here routinely buy refined gold without asking for any documentation to verify its source, an illegal practice in the Philippines.
Matanggap din ba kayong galing sa Paracali? Paracali. Sa Camarines Norte. Tanggap yan, ba't yung mauuri nila? Walang pinipil sa dito. Walang pinipil.
The agent offers to introduce us to his boss, a big-time gold buyer.
Ha? Dating puling. Walang pinipil yan. Kaya sa mga siya rin pa yung babayan. Hindi ka may tira yan. Sabihin ko, dumaan kayo sa akin. Mapapasukin ko kayo sa karton. Doon tayong kabayaran.
His boss is waiting in a quiet corner behind a row of legitimate jewelry shops.
Meron sample lang. 24. Pero tumatanggap po kayo na yung medyo malaking amount pero walang dokumento. Di ba pag bumibili ko ng goods, kailangan may papel? Hindi na kailangan dito, basta talagang dito. Okay. Wala ko katulad sa Central Bank, gano'n. Hindi mo na ako Central Bank. Galing po kasi yan sa sa mga probinsyang may
Magkano gusto mo dito?
Per gram, kayo po ang mag-presyo. 2,000 po. Pupunta din po ba ito sa Central Bank? Sa Central Bank din ang nito, ang bagsak nito. Sa ibang bansa, maraming
Maraming kami ginagawa.
The buyer becomes suspicious and ends the deal abruptly. We decide to leave before our cover is blown. It is estimated that in 2012, 90% of the gold from small-scale mining in the Philippines was traded on the black market and sold overseas.
It's greed. It's greed. It is greed. Because you don't need the gold. You don't need the gold. But our people need water, our people need food, our people need air. And it is wrong for the government to allow greed to put at risk the lives of our people. It is wrong. It's against our constitutional right.
For some, the demand for gold has devastated their lives forever.
umaga ng November 21, 2012. Masaya kami ng pamilya ko na nag-aalmusal. Sabi ng asawa ko, "Ma, papasok na ako kasi wala tayong income. Kailangan ko magtrabaho para sa atin. Gusto ko ipagluto mo muna ako ng almusalan natin. Gusto ko sabay-sabay tayong kakain." So nagluto ako ng almusalan nung umagang yun. Masaya kaming nagsalo-salo ng pamilya na hindi ko inaasahan na pagpatak ng alas 4 ng hapon. Doon pala ang huli namin pagsasalo-saluhan ng mga anak ko. Nakasabay ang ama nila sa pagkain.
That afternoon, the mines at Barangay Palanas collapsed, killing Julie's husband and 3 other miners who were working underground.
Masakit para sa akin kasi naglambing pa siya sa akin noon. Hindi ko inaasahan na sasabog sa dibdib ko na parang gusto ko nang bumuo ang mundo, na parang gusto ko nang sumunod sa kanya.
The financier of the illegal mine offered Julie cash in exchange for her silence.
Sabi nila sa akin noon, inopera nila ako ng 100,000 cash na cash. Kumbaga, wag na daw akong magsalita, pero kukunin yung bangkay ng asawa ko sa ilalim. Yun ang sila nagastos noon. Halos ayaw nilang imedya, gawa ng mapapasara itong balunan na to.
With no other means to support her family, Julie accepted the money. It was not an easy decision.
Nagalit ako gawa ng namatay ang asawa ko sa balunan nila. Baga parang pera, 100,000, kabayaran sa buhay ng asawa ko. Parang ang sakit isipin. Pero anong magagawa ko? Ay, nandun na. Nangyari na, di na maibabalik pa ang buhay ng asawa ko.
The authorities attempted to track down the financier of the mine, but he was never found, and nobody was held accountable for the accident. Until today, Julie is still haunted by the tragedy.
Yun nga ang namimiss ko at namimiss ng mga anak ko. Kaya minsan may mga time na sa tuwing gabi na lang, naaalala ko siya na sana kahit minsan makasama at makapiling muli namin siya ng mga anak ko. Kaya ngayon, nandito, hirap na hirap pa rin ako. Hindi ko matanggap na nawala siya sa buhay namin.
This tragedy prompted a major investigation into the dangers of compressor mining. It resulted in the Philippine Senate passing a nationwide ban on small-scale gold mining. But in Paracale, illegal gold mining continues. Since 2012, it has claimed 10 more lives. Despite laws banning small-scale mining, it is likely to continue if enforcement is lax and when there are simply no alternatives.